everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Action Sunday. This week, to continue my trend of movies that feature leading Bond men pre or post their Bond era. This one is a doozy, folks. This one is The Saint, the Fiction Makers, or just the Fiction Makers for short. If I want to get technical, because believe it or not, this was actually intended to be a TV movie or like a TV serial kind of thing. It was actually if you really want to get technical, like originally this was like a two-parter kind of thing, but they decided to slice together and make an actual movie. And this one came out in 1968, and of course it stars, Roger Moore in the role of Simon Temple, aka the Saint. And if anybody who's never familiar with the Saint, well, I'll give you a quick backstory. So the Saint was a 60s British comedy / mystery show which followed Roger Moore. And this, believe it or not, if it weren't for this show, I don't think Roger Moore would have been discovered by Albert R. Broccoli, whatever you pronounce his last name, to be the next guy to take up the Bond mantle. Because, like I said, this particular one came out in '68. He didn't take up the mantle till a couple of years later, because he was committed to doing this. But this movie alone shows you okay, Roger Moore's definitely showing the pizzazz and the shtick of okay, this is how he's going. You can still see it here. This is where he would be as Simon Temple, but you can see him slowly morph. All these different traits that would slowly turn him into the Bond that we all know and love. And of course, whether you loved Roger Moore pre or post his Bond time, or if you loved any of his Bond movies, which I was a big fan of his. Even though I was born in the '80s, of course, hell, I fell in love with these. But you can clearly tell if you watch this movie. So, whether or not this movie is available on the Tubi app or the Shout Factory, go watch it. It's really fun. The plot of this is really simple. So Simon is assigned to be a bodyguard for this author who takes up the pen name of Amos Klein, which is, believe it or not, is actually a male pen name, even though it's a she. So yeah, I don't want to get too much detail there, but he's assigned to protect her, and right from there things go off on a crazy thing. Somehow this group somehow comes alive. All these works of art that she writes. Oh, here's Sword, and it's okay. It's now they're essentially just holding this guy hostage, holding them hostage. And of course, it's a case of mistaken identity. I don't want to give too much off of that, because after that, it gets wildly crazy and a little entertaining, a little bit funny, but there are it's a couple of dark comedy moments, and you can just see the range that Roger Moore has. And also you can definitely see in certain scenes, okay, he is definitely turning into the James Bond that we know, like I mentioned, because there's some really good set pieces, some good storytelling there, even though I felt like it's not as campy as I thought it would be, because when you think '60s mystery comedy things, you think all the camp factor, especially if it's a British show. But of course, the camp factor, I would say, not as bad as I thought. But if you want to go super campy, find the Avengers, the British Avengers. That is not the Marvel Avengers. No. That's a story for another day. Okay, I say go find that stuff. That stuff is crazy and campy, but still very entertaining. This one not as much, but there is some moments that make me bring a smile to my face and be like, oh yeah, Roger Moore is the man. I don't want to give much away, but there's some great moments that really shine through this very convoluted, although a bit I wouldn't say it's a bad plot, but I would say it's a cleverly designed plot. But yes, it goes to show this is the kind of stuff that the Saint would go through. Okay, and hey, that's why he is. And of course, always dashing and daring, and of course a little funny here and there, because there's moments okay, I never expected more to be like that. All right, and then of course I would say the villain, I felt was a little too cliche for my blood, my Warlock as he was addressed in the movie. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. He felt a little one dimensional, but I felt for some reason he was how can I to compare it to a different show. I felt Warlock was more like a Siegfried from Get Smart, if that makes sense. All right. But yeah, through all the fun, if you're expecting blood and guts, there's some good action sequences like where here and there. But not as cheap. But I would say it's not cheap. It's like cheesy. It's like cheesy fun, but not like goofy. All right, but mildly. And like there's a great finale. I really enjoyed it, and it just makes me want to go back and find the rest of the Saint shows. And believe it or not, there's actually another Saint movie called The Vendetta. And of course, I've been trying to look for that one. But this one, I feel like, kind of shows that, like okay, if you give the right formula, if you try to piggyback off a popular spy / mystery comedy show, and that was famous on the television at this time, it could make it special. But as you know, I don't think it did do well, but after that, you could definitely sit and tell, like, Roger Moore's career was just taking off, all right? Not much else I can say. The rest of the cast, like, pretty much unknowns, but definitely something I would definitely recommend to watch, okay? Especially if you're wanting, this thing of watching, like American shows, you want to watch some old English shows, this is a good one. The Avengers are a good one. If you can give this one, seriously, give it a shot. You might enjoy it. If you're a big Roger Moore fan, I definitely recommend it. And with that in mind, I'm going to give The Fiction Makers I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. That's as best I'm getting. Because, bonus points because of, okay, it's kind of like a James Bond, but it's not. It's not. He's not quite a James Bond, the kind of thing. But it's still Roger Moore. Which of course I know, a little bit of favoritism in my part, but everything else I feel like it's there. It's good, but not. It's good to great, but I feel like there's you want to see more. And I think would get more more backstory if you watch the rest of the show or if you piggybacked on to more stuff. And of course, maybe one day I'll review the Saint movies, the one with Val Kilmer, then the 2018 one. I don't know. Maybe someday. I don't know. All right. So that does it for this week. Let me know what you think. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to my channel, Steve, for some more awesome and exciting videos.